Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Sick Guy 2009, bringing you a little bit different kind of video today. In this video, which I guess you could essentially consider a vlog, I'm gonna be telling you about this really terrifying nightmare that I had. But although it was terrifying, it was actually a pretty interesting nightmare. And in fact, it's so interesting, I figured I would make a video about me about me talking about it. So the nightmare starts out with me, my sister, and my sister's fiance, all in an SUV. And from what I remember, it was a giant silver SUV, and my sister was the one driving. So what happens first is that the SUV drives through these giant temple doors. They almost look like the doors you would see at the entrance, like a old Chinese temple, or maybe like a old. I don't know if the Aztecs had temples, but what I'm basically getting at is the doors were really old and they looked like they were from some old civilization. So this is the already starts off. We're in like first not even 30 seconds, first like 3 seconds of the dream, and shit's already getting strange. So my sister ends up driving. The doors open, just I guess because they're from what I'll later learn that they're fucking ghost doors, and they just open and close whenever the ghosts feel like the doors need to be open and closed. And so my sister drives through that, and then immediately, just she's driving through a graveyard. And when I say driving through, I literally mean just like driving through. There's no road. There's just a lot of graves, and she's driving over like every single one. Not, and I don't think she's doing it intentionally though, because I bring this up to her, the fact that she's driving over a whole bunch of fucking graves and how cursed we're gonna be. She seems to be nonchalant about the whole thing. I bring it up to her, and she's just like, yeah, well, it'll probably be fine. I mean, they're just graves after all. And I start to this is where the nightmare starts to begin, because I'm like, no, you understand, we're gonna get fucking cursed, and I'm gonna get cursed, and I'm not even doing anything. I am an accessory to you, which means I'm gonna get cursed. And if the demons come for you, I'm gonna just throw myself at the mercy of the demons and I hope they don't curse me. Because so far in this dream, I haven't been doing shit. And so she just, like, I present that argument to her, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. And then fucking her fiance is in the passenger seat, just like looking out the right side of the window at neither of us. And I imagine also trying to not see all the gravestones she's running over, because there's a lot of them. And I don't think there's anything special about the tombstones. They're just like normal. There's like a series of all identical tombstones. Like my brain didn't feel the need to make the tombstones like different from each other. They're all just the same. I imagine to save processing power. It's the same reason why when developers develop video games, yet they if it's a bad video game or if it's a video game with not a very big budget, they just end up using a lot of the assets over and over again. I feel like my brain does that a lot when it needs to. When it wants to conserve space, they'll just repeat a whole bunch of tombstones just one after another identically. But that doesn't matter, because what happens next is even freakier. So we end up after driving through a sea of tombstones and awakening what I imagine to be about 1,000 ancient spirits. We end up having a picnic on the top of this hill. It's like a very small hill with one tree. I don't think I can describe the tree. I want to say it was like a cherry blossom tree, but it wasn't. It didn't look pretty at all. In fact, it looked horrifying. I guess in order to fit the theme of this horrifying nightmare, the tree looked horrifying as well. So we're having a picnic. It's just I don't know, just fucking having cheese and shit. Lay out a blanket. We're having cheese, crackers, all that jazz. And then I'm sitting there just fucking not being okay with this entire situation, because it's also I'm finding it really weird that my sister just ran over like 90 graves And she's not only is she not concerned with it, but she's so unconcerned that she's having a fucking picnic. So I'm just sitting there, just trying, hoping that if I don't move, the ghosts that are inevitably gonna show up don't just possess me and kill me. That I'm hoping they just go for her instead. So of course, ghosts do end up showing up, but it's kind of interesting. And to an extent, remember being kind of relieved that they showed up because now I can have like a "I told you so" moment, and also this is when I feel totally justified in just running the fuck away and leaving her to her death because she did a lot of stupid shit, and I don't. At that time, I was my my desire to keep her safe from the ghost was overridden by my fear to get away because the ghosts that were showing up were just like my brain conjured them specifically for maximum scares because the ghosts didn't have were also they weren't well I guess they weren't necessarily scary but they were just like black shadows is how I describe them. They're just like it was a very minimum outline of a person but it's like there's a person's silhouette basically comes alive and just starts like moving around just like floating around like this just around all of us. So that gets to the point where um Allie's finally, thank God, finally freaking out that there's all these scary ass ghosts and everyone starts panicking. And I'm not quite sure at this point if we get in the car and we're driving away or I'm just fucking hauling ass sprinting. But either way, I start to head towards the doors again, which of course are now closing in like a traditional horror movie fashion. The doors are closing by themselves now, and I'm trying to run fast enough to get through them so I'm not trapped in this. Excuse me, I had a burp. I'm not trapped in this graveyard with a whole bunch of fucking pissed off spirits and my stupid sister who ran over all the spirits' tombstones. And I don't know how to really describe this that well, but the doors start closing, and as they're closing, I see visions of like the doors like slamming shut super fast. Like now, I see the doors shut and open and shut and open just way too fast, way too in a way not that's not normal, and it's freaking me the fuck out. And then the doors are doing that for a little bit, and then I also see the vision of like some demonic figure. I can't really describe it. Also appears. So the doors. Imagine this. And the way I guess I can best describe this is it's. I've seen a lot of recreations and animation of like what schizophrenics seem to see, or sometimes see if they're like really freaking out. And it looked pretty identical because there was the flashing images of the door opening and closing, and then with that layered on top of that was this demon just it's screaming, and the screaming started out very quiet and then just got louder and louder and louder and louder. So it was like to the point where I just had to wake up because it was that fucking terrifying. So yeah, that pretty much sums up my dream. Um, After that dream, I've pretty much been sleeping with the lights on in front of my room because also one more thing, the icing on the nightmare Sunday is that when I woke up, I guess I woke up so suddenly that I had sleep paralysis, which if you guys have ever experienced, you know is not a fun thing because not only when you wake up and you're sleep paralyzed, not and if I should say if you're sleep paralyzed, not only can you not move, but a very common side effect of sleep paralysis is that you also see black figures like the one I saw in my dream. So when I woke up, to the right of me, there's like this black figure, and he's like this close. He's right up in my fucking grill. He's just sitting there like on the side of my bed, like his head cocked a little bit. He's like, "How are you doing?" But he doesn't say anything because he doesn't have any features. He's just a shadow. So he's just sitting there. Like imagine his face is my face, but it's just my face is all black. So yeah, after that, I think I'm actually trying to get to bed. I've been trying to get to bed so early that I'm able to go to bed with there's still light outside because every time I like move around or like I try to fall asleep in my bed, I just reimagine that nightmare over again. So it's gonna be a little bit, I think, before I can sleep again. But that nightmare, although terrifying, is actually so cool. I'm really hoping to have another one like that in the future. And that does seem I know that seems kind of ridiculous, but I'd rather have a nightmare like that than a whole bunch of like really like those boring dreams where you just end up like putting rocks in a bag for like 20 minutes. I think I say rocks in a bag specifically because I remember Louis C.K. talking about the kind of dreams that he has, and they're just like some celebrity telling him to put like rocks in a bag or doing something stupid like that. So if my options are A, have normal dreams or boring dreams, or have fucking disturbing nightmares, I go with the disturbing nightmares anytime. So I realize I'm going on for like 11 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, excuse me, and I'll see you next time. Probably with another dream video if I had to guess, but maybe not. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.